Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Anthony and Alex After Hours, or After Hours with Alex and Anthony. I messed up the name of our own show there, huh? Gotta love that. I want to do a quick intro here. So me and Alex, last week we did 3 of these. And what we've kind of come to realize is, every day of the week for the most part for, I don't know how long, 6 months, a year, maybe longer, there's been something that we've kind of communicated with each other where we said, hey, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? And one of the reasons behind why we're kind of doing this is we want people to kind of be able to listen into those conversations and to kind of be a part of what we're talking about. So excited to be here for episode 4. Alex, take it away.
Hey everybody, just finishing sharing it out here so everybody can join us tonight. We kind of are continuing on from some topics earlier in the episodes from episode 2 and episode 3. Tonight we're talking about realestate.com, which is Zillow's new marketing tool that they're basically going specifically after millennials and younger generation, which is kind of perfect because you and I are the same age, right? And we are exactly in the middle of the millennial generation. Like in terms of years, we are the dead center of that generation, which is kind of interesting to see. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about realestate.com. And we've kind of talked about it, with when we had Rob Overman and Krishna Malyala on. That was stemmed off of a discussion about MLSs and MLS data.
Right.
So hopefully we're going to continue that tonight. And that's how a lot of these work. It's not that like we're trying to do a series, but a lot of times we're just sort of you hear about this, you hear about that, and it just sort of stems off of like natural conversation with the same topic.
Right.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen realestate.com yet?
So I have. I saw someone posted about it this morning that they had just launched, and it was kind of perfect timing for us. Like you said, we had Krishna on the other day, and Krishna's company, TLC Engine, they kind of do something that I think realestate.com is trying to kind of grasp. But before we even kind of get into that part of it, I took a look at it. It's simple. It's clean. I haven't registered or anything on it. I took, I did a couple property searches and that kind of stuff. But it's kind of amazing the way Zillow tried to make realestate.com really for the millennial. So I'm looking at it right now. You know what I'm going to do? Let me actually share my screen here. This way people can kind of see exactly what I'm looking at. And can you see that? Just let me know when you can see that, Alex.
All right. And there it is.
Okay, cool. All right. So one of the things I thought was really interesting was, they really kind of took some of the younger lingo per se and made it a little less, perfectly copywritten and stuff like that, where, this is hysterical here. First time buyer's guide. The struggle is real. We'll help you through life's biggest purchase. And that's like the thing.
Hold on. Scroll up a second. It's even better than that. All right. Home is where your is.
Blank is. So anybody here can absolutely fill in any blank that they want.
Right.
Me and Alex are going back and forth for a while. Yeah.
You know what the joke is on that though, right? Like
No.
The home is where your blank is. It's I've heard it a bunch of places as home is where your Wi-Fi connects.
Right.
Which is, I guess it's true. But yeah, again, you're right. It's another thing where they're trying to cater to that sort of younger generation.
Yeah. So, and I think they did a good job. Don't mind my desktop here; it's a mess. But really mobile responsive. They did the right things on making this really work for, the younger generation here. Now, whether they'll be really successful with it or not, I think is a whole other story. But let's see how the search and stuff looks in here. Let's just get in here. See what we got. Okay. This is pretty standard. And I assume that they're using Zillow's own feeds as well. I'm sure they're not going back out to MLSs and whatnot and getting all new contracts for realestate.com. I would assume. Now, realestate.com was part of the Trulia acquisition, right? Trulia owned this, Alex?
Yeah, and they bought it from as part of the M name. It used to be a big web company.
No idea.
Market Leader?
Oh, Market Leader. Okay. Gotcha.
Trulia bought
Gotcha, yeah.
Trulia bought it was theirs originally, I don't know, 3 years ago or something like
Interesting.
that. and then Trulia bought it as part of that, and then Zillow got it in the Trulia acquisition.
Interesting. So, I don't know, man. Let's kind of go. Let's take this a little further here. Monthly budget. Let's say.
So here's the thing. Let me just pause there on this one. I think the UI UX of it is really nice. Like, I think the setup and design of that is really nice. But something I noticed for me anyway, when I was going to use this tool, is if you click back on budget, okay, you see how it says monthly budget?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, it's not price or anything like that. Yeah.
Board, and we'll find homes with all-in monthly pricing, so on, right? I had to go back to the home screen and watch a video to figure out what they're actually including in this monthly budget number.
Interesting. So what were the things that they said they included here?
So if you go back, I wish I could see exactly, but basically it was mortgage amount, tax amount.
And this is this video.
Closing costs. Yeah, it's this video. But I had to watch this video to see what was actually included because, you know, you're so used to plugging in, you know, mortgage amount or so on. What this seems to me is not necessarily even a true competitor to say like Krishna or TLC or something like that. What this seems to me is instead of being your old classic mortgage tool, this is the mortgage tool that sort of all of the people expect a mortgage tool to be.
Right. It included the things that always should have been included anyway.
Right. Exactly. Fees, taxes, so on. It's not like saying, you know, what are your electricity rates and your commute time and your all of that sort of stuff, like where you're commuting to work for, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
It doesn't do any of that or include any of those sorts of things into it. It just more feels like what mortgage should, like, not what it should be, I guess, because mortgage amount is mortgage amount, but you know what I mean. The fees and so on.
It's giving someone more of a comprehensive picture of what they're really spending. And I think that's what Krishna set out to do, right? He said, if you hear there's your commute costs, this is your gas costs and all this stuff. And I guess they just kind of took all the extras that he put and he said, well, this is really about what your monthly budget for a house is going to be, not including those other things. It's not your lifestyle costs like Krishna does. It's strictly about the house here. But it's interesting, and I definitely agree with you. I think that mortgage tools should have been like this forever because it gives people a much better understanding of what they're spending on a daily basis or a monthly basis, rather. So it does make sense that they've done it like that. Love to see what these things are.
This is one I didn't quite get into yet. I kind of the veteran component to it. I looked over it quickly, but I didn't go too much in depth. Did you read through and so on?
I didn't actually. Actually, this is the first time I've clicked on it, but I do like that they've actually helped people understand what a VA loan is. There's a lot of service members out there that don't, they understand they can get a VA loan, but they don't understand how to do it. And there are a lot of companies that do VA loans, but there's very few that I think will really walk someone through the entire process. And I think this is great for somebody, coming out of the military, especially, if they're younger. And I guess even if they're not, it doesn't really matter. But this is a way for them to kind of know what they're talking about when they're talking to someone who does a VA loan. I feel like, so many people are so trusting for their mortgage broker or mortgage banker at times that, they'll throw out a lot of terms, throw out a lot of numbers, and they're just kind of like, oh, okay, that sounds fine, but they don't really understand what the person's talking about. So this is really cool that they walk them through what all of the steps, I guess, would be for a VA loan. So this is pretty great. Pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
What about first-time buyers? What do they got for first-time buyers? I think this is really where they're this is really what they're catering to, right? So big decision, the financial social shopping smart. Yeah, and they kept this light for people to really understand. That's what I'm ready to take the plunge. I'm guessing these are all videos, but nope, they are not. Okay. Cool.
Click on any of them? Maybe?
From renter to owner.
Okay.
Okay, so they kept it clean, easy. How does this go mobile? All right,
Not
they
terrible.
did it. No, not terrible at all. They did a good job with it. Good.
Yeah.
So cool. So interesting to
Yeah.
see. I guess Zillow. It's. I think it's actually probably the most interesting. I'm going to stop sharing this, but I think the most interesting part of realestate.com right now, at least for me, is we
Mm.
obviously know that they're a Zillow company, but they don't have Zillow anywhere on here. You would think that.
Interesting in that, actually.
What'd you say?
I said it's interesting you mentioned that. I didn't really even think about that.
Yeah, like it's almost like they're trying to get away from their own brand and almost make it a totally separate one. I mean, I guess we represent some of Zillow Group's most talented. I mean, it's mentioned here, but you got to go look for it. It's surprising that it's not like realestate.com, a Zillow company. You know what I mean? Something like that, or a Zillow
Do you
brand or
think
whatever.
think they're doing the whole? I mean, part of me is thinking about it, right? Like a lot of the reasons, say, a new social media channel becomes popular to younger kids, say in high
Mm.
school, is
Right,
because all of their parents are not there,
right.
right? I
Mm.
don't know. I'm just thinking like Facebook. I know kids that don't use it as actively because they see it as, well, that's where my parents are.
Oh, right.
That's
Well, and
where
the
my
younger generation totally feels like that, right? Like the Facebook generation is, the 25, 30-year-old plus, really. The 16,
right.
17, 18-year-old kids and younger, they're on Snapchat, Instagram. They're not, I mean, they have a Facebook, but they don't use it. But that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting that's interesting that they've kind of played it like that and have decided not to make this a very big Zillow brand. Also interesting that of all the languages that they could have chosen, it looks like they chose Chinese and Spanish as the only two additional languages on the site.
I mean, is that a shock
No, not entirely,
given their
but
markets
it's
and their location?
well, Spanish I would definitely understand, right? I'm surprised that they went with Chinese, and again, I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese. I would assume it's Chinese, but I'm almost surprised that they went of all the other languages they went
Where
Chinese. Say it
I'm not
again?
surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Really?
I mean, I can't think of another that would. I mean, in the U.S., Spanish is obviously, you would think, the number second.
Right.
It's, usually predominant language, especially in lots
Right.
of sections of the country. But I'm not surprised about them adding Mandarin. And I think that's what that is. But I'm not surprised about that. I mean, if you think about it, first of all, Zillow's housed in the West Coast.
Right.
There's a huge population out there. Beyond which, if they're looking to get into more international communities, the three that they're going to need to hit for international communities are going to be that. Especially if they're looking to there's been some talk about movement north for Zillow.
Interesting.
Which who knows if they're going to do that. Zoocasa didn't have the greatest result
Right.
up there, but if they're looking to do that, like if they're looking to go after Toronto, for example, or big,
Right.
cities to the north, Vancouver, like
Mhm.
it's certainly a population that that they should cater to in a lot of ways. There's a lot of overseas investment.
Well, the investment side of it, I definitely understand, right? But I'm thinking, if they're building this brand, or for what they've come out saying they're building this brand for is, the millennials. So it just surprised me that, like I said, it just surprised me that they chose Chinese as the millennial marketing. Let's go towards that. But I mean, I guess it does make sense. I mean, there's a lot of money flowing in from overseas, so I guess it's not completely
Yeah.
crazy, but just surprising, I guess. Here's another question though. Like, so obviously we're on this part of it, right? And I like I said, I saw it on someone's feed today. How do you think they're going to be marketing this to millennials, and are millennials even going to give a shit?
I mean, beyond the money they already pay to Google, I'm guessing it's a good domain for keywords.
I would think so. I would think realestate.com is going to rank pretty high.
I mean, I wonder how much realestate.com already gets traffic. I guess we could go look up some of the numbers on similar web or something like that, but I kind of wonder what traffic they already get just by being that domain to begin with. Plus, it has been around for a while. It was kind of a mediocre web search for a long time.
Right.
property search for a long time. I don't know. I don't know what marketing they're going to do around it. I mean, do you think they're going to do TV spots?
I mean, it doesn't make sense to do a TV spot, right? Like millennials aren't on TV. We don't watch that. I mean, me personally, I don't watch TV. I stream everything. I don't even know where they would really get me. I guess they'd have to go like on Instagram. They'd have to go on. They'd really have to go out of the box. So I pulled up on SimilarWeb here.
Netflix or Hulu or one of those too.
Yeah, exactly. So they're saying, and I don't know how new this is. They're looking at a 1 second average duration, 71,000 total visits. But again, that doesn't really. I don't know when this was last updated. And weirdly enough, Australia has the largest amount of people coming to the site. Almost 41% of people coming to realestate.com are from Australia. Only 28% from the U.S. And and following the U.S. is India, Mexico, and Thailand. Which India, Mexico, and Thailand combined go for about 14.5% of the total traffic.
So, just to back up 1 second here, where I went to high school is a place in Vermont called St. Johnsbury Academy. Shout out. But St. Johnsbury Academy is kind of a cool thing. It's a independent school. It's half dorm student, half students from local towns that pay charter into the school. And it has half, I kind of jokingly say it's like, royalty meets Vermont rednecks is sort of the best way to put it. Because literally you'll end up with, like when I was there, we had Korean royalty that were there. There was actually a betrothed couple who were Korean royalty. I mean, to the extent that like kids would wait around the table, like the lunchroom table, and wait for them to sit there and sit before any of them sat.
Wow.
Yeah. He would like dictate where they sit, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, what my dad just mentioned is that their largest dorm population is now from China, is now Chinese population. It used to be Korean, but it's in the last whatever number of years they've taken over, and their school population there is largely Chinese.
Interesting.
So
okay.
Maybe they know.
Maybe they know something that we certainly don't.
maybe they did their marketing research.
I mean, I would hope so. They got a big enough team over there, right? So I just shared my screen here, just so people can kind of see what we're looking at about this. So, like I said, about 72,000. This surprises me. Only 1 second on the page.
SimilarWeb is tough. They're not necessarily
What's the other one? Alexia?
Oh no, it's actually Amazon's Alexa. So Alexa has two.
I said Alexa, and my Alexa was like, going nuts, like easy there,
freaking out behind you.
Yeah, I don't understand the answer to that question, so I didn't ask you one.
Alexa, it's your sister that knows website data. No, it is Alexa though. Amazon has another service similar to Alexa or not similar to Alexa, but another service called that does general web analytics and traffic for the web.
Gotcha.
Not like you don't have to own the domain.
There was I don't know if it was called Alexa. There was something else that I used to be able to browse websites. So.
All right, so I got a question for you, and we danced around this at the beginning. Last episode we had Rob Overman and Krishna Malayala on.
Yep.
Krishna owns a company called TLC Engine. TLC Engine does it's called a true living cost, which is
true lifestyle cost.
Lifestyle, sorry. Gosh, true lifestyle cost, and basically what it is similar they've had it for much longer. So we can
Yeah.
say Zillow and realestate.com is similar to what they're doing in some ways.
Right.
But what they did was, and what they've done for a long time now, is it's not just about your mortgage budget or anything like that. It's more about your actual cost of living. So, it factors in how long your commute to work is going to be. It factors in, the electricity costs or the taxes in the different regions. Well, I mean, the realestate.com one does do taxes, but works in those different things to figure out budget-wise what you can really afford and work in. Now, when a company like Zillow comes out with a tool like this, there's immediately two ways you can go about it, right? They copied us. Oh, no, everybody's going to use that. Did they just eat my lunch, right?
Right.
The other side of that I sort of thought about is, well, Zillow now has this tool, so that darn well means every MLS in the country and brokerage and so on needs to start competing with Zillow in this realm. Oh, geez, who's the only company that does that?
Right.
Well, TLC. Right?
And then there might be other companies that do it, but I would say he's probably the only proven one that does it. He's been around for long enough and he's got some partnerships with MLSs already. So he's got some social proof, I guess you would call it, that, what he does and what he has actually works.
Yep, absolutely. So which way is it going to go?
So I don't know. And it could really go, like you said, it could really go in those two ways. I mean, at the end of the day, you never want to hear that Zillow just became your competitor, right? That's like the worst news for a real estate tech company ever. Okay. And I think there's a couple ways you could look at it, right? So we talked a couple episodes ago about venture capital, right? So I think it could go two ways. I think if he wants to really compete and get MLSs on board, get brokers on board, get agents on board with what he has and what he's doing, he's going to need to grow his company, 1,000% this year, right? He can't be at 2, 3, 5, 10 MLSs by the end of the year. He's got to be at 200 MLSs. He's got to be at, 500, 1,000 brokerages. And to do that, I don't know, what his books are like, but I would think that he's going to need to raise some serious venture cap. And I would look at that and say, is an investor going to invest in a company that competes with Zillow? So I don't know.
Is an investor
I just feel like that is a very difficult position for any venture guy, anybody who is, willing to invest money. Not to say that his company won't be ultimately successful at the end of the day, but with Zillow as a competitor, that is a tough squeeze. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, realestate.com launching today, so we don't know even if people are going to give a shit about it, right? People might be like, well, I already use Zillow, so why am I going to go to realestate.com? Or they, realtor.com, whatever it is, or whatever they're using. But I don't know. I think ultimately, he's definitely got a long road ahead of him. Zillow's not going to stop innovating. They're going to keep getting better and better. And I'm sure at this point, not only has Krishna heard 100 things about, what Zillow's doing, I'm sure Zillow has gotten, oh, well, do you know this company? Do you know what they do? Do you blah, blah, blah. And I think the only real issue that stands in TLC's way is that Zillow's only bought, in the past 10 years, they've only bought 12 companies, right? 13 companies. It's very, very small number for such a giant tech firm. They always say, well, we'll just build it better, right? And realistically, they do every time. So I don't know. What do you think is going to happen? You're more on that side of the world than I am.
That's true. So it's this. The first thing is this. This is the first iteration of realestate.com. I just like to remind everybody of that. We heard about this. Actually, you know what? Let me back up there. First of all, I got duped by a Riz Media article, flat out. Only fake news I've shared ever.
I don't know. I see you show. Honestly, I see you show articles from like CNN. That can't be true.
Oh man, no. So they ran an article a while ago with a headline that basically said that that they were going to become a real estate brand, which is a
I
departure
saw that
from
too.
what they
I saw that. Yeah, yeah,
right? Then the article had quotes from their CEO talking about how this is a departure from what they're going, not Zillow's, from RizMedia's CEO. And then like halfway through the day, bunches of the article was changed and retracted and so on from like
I didn't see the
original
retraction. I just remember thinking to myself that day, Jay Thompson is going to have a hell of a day today.
Right. Oh, me too. I actually talked to him. No, he and I commented on a couple of threads together.
That's yeah. I can't imagine. He was just check out for the day, call out for the day. You know. Yep, that's it. Done.
Later. It wasn't actually like an official retraction in terms of like it wasn't at the end saying like we removed said information or this has been updated, blah, 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 blah. It was, I checked the article very specifically to be like, where'd they get their info? Who's saying this? How's it said? Blah, blah, blah. And I mean, my memory's pretty good. And I actually quoted, I was like, because I remember saying to myself, like, oh, that's a surprisingly large number of quotes from RizMedia's CEO. And then when I went back, like, half of them were gone. I think it was like 4 were there and then 2 were left when I went back to the article, same article later that.
Interesting.
So, it was massaged to make sure people understood that it was clickbait and they weren't really saying that Zillow started a brokerage.
Right.
But that being said, we barely heard rumors about realestate.com that they were going to launch it a month ago.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was that long ago. I barely heard anything about it.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, there's this.
Yep.
And
what we did hear about it, I thought was interesting because we didn't even like really hear about what they were doing, right? We just heard that they're building a portal for millennials, but there was no details surrounding it. Yeah, I thought the whole thing was interesting, kind of the way they did it.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. So what do you think? So you danced right around that question. So what do you think? Yeah, this guy.
I did bully you. So here's the thing. I think when Zillow does something like that, it becomes a much more difficult thing to get involved with.
Right.
Not that it's necessarily impossible or maybe even still a great decision. But if you think about it, what that does is they were playing, odds in a casino kind of a thing. It cuts your odds down, but it raises your possible payoff. Right. So it's less like playing blackjack and more like playing the lottery.
Well, here's something that just came flying into my head. So, like, Realtor.com is going to see, obviously, realestate.com came out, right? And you would almost think that Realtor.com is also going to very much need to compete. Like, forget about the MLS and the brokers, right? Because Realtor.com, they're making money hand over fist. And if Realestate.com has something they don't, did they go to Krishna and say, listen, we want to license this from you? Or do they do the same thing and they build their own?
Real answer?
Neither. Okay.
Like real talk, neither. Well, let me put it to you this way. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, what was it? I'll find the exact dates, but a couple of years ago, we launched voice search for real estate, right?
I remember that, yep.
Where you say, I'm looking for a home in Burlington, Vermont, under $800,000 with a patio, a pool, and a garage. And it would actually figure out what you said, parse it all out, put it into all the different things, all of that sort of stuff, right? Now, we hear this year at Inman about how innovative it is. New companies, isn't that awesome? Which, I don't know, sorry.
You were too early with it. You were too early with it 2 years ago.
We're too early with it, right? Now, we were having conversations with Realtor.com about exactly this, about possibly licensing it, possibly them buying it.
Interesting.
Those sort of things. And one of the conversations we had with somebody, we were told that they had developed it a year earlier and put it on the shelf to never be used again. And I was like, huh? And they go, well, yeah, we had that, and we didn't roll it out, we didn't include it, and so on. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me you have a feature that you could roll out that only you have, that Zillow doesn't have, that
Right.
nobody else in the world has, right? You have that feature, and you're not doing it.
Interesting. Why?
So,
why?
I have no idea. No idea.
Interesting.
But you ask, and I'm going to say neither. I don't think they're going to build it, and I don't think they're going to buy it from anybody.
You just don't think they're going to give a shit.
I don't think they're going to.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I guess, yeah, I never thought about that.
Real talk here. What new feature has Realtor.com led the way with in the last 5 years?
Nothing. I don't know any great new thing that they've come out with. And really,
Hold on. Got one. I got one.
You got one. Okay.
I do. I got one. They did the Elizabeth Banks, the TV ad.
They did do a TV ad. That is a true story. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Realtor and Zillow, they're really, they're search portals. They're not
Right.
innovative by any means. They're, hey, look, search our database and we'll return and make it look pretty for you in a different way. Interesting. And do you think it's because people searching, right? Not just millennials, but people searching in general don't care? Like me personally, I would love a better way to search, right? As an agent, as a tech guy, if I had a better way to search to make my life easier, like you said, I want a $300,000 house, Burlington, Vermont, 3-bed, 2-bath with a pool and a patio, and I could say that versus going to find all the different, check boxes and drop downs and all that stuff. I would love that, and I would think that other people would too. But why? Why isn't anybody innovating? Like even realestate.com, right? This is just another search portal, right? There's nothing aside from that one feature with the lifestyle mortgage cost. It's just another search portal. So why isn't anybody innovating?
Hold on, which, let's be perfectly honest here, isn't really innovative.
Not at all. Not at all. But it's the only quote unquote different feature, right? That's it.
Right. It's slightly, but it's not even slightly. It's not like it's just like a slightly different feature. It's a slightly different feature other people are already doing, just not in broad scale.
Right.
So have they taken? Is this the same as Facebook's model, where it's like wait until some stuff shakes out and then either copy or buy?
Yeah, I mean, and Facebook, I guess I got to give it to Facebook in one way. Like, they do try to buy everything. They just try to buy it really early, right? They tried to buy Snap for $3 billion 3 years ago, and the guys at Snap were like, no. Granted, paid off for them in the end, but I don't know what's going to happen with their stock.
Right.
But I don't know, it's interesting to think about the lack of innovation in the search process. There's been tons of innovation on the CRM side and helping agents, sell more houses and follow up more and all that kind of stuff. But the physical search, I don't want to believe that it's the best it's ever going to be because it's not that great.
No, it's not. All right, let me ask you. You're the millennial and in real estate and have all the history around this. I'm building a search portal for you. What is it? What do you want?
I don't know.
From a millennial's mouth, what do you want?
So I guess the way I would look at it is I would probably have a better understanding of where I wanted to be, and I would probably care less about things that traditionally people cared a lot about, right? Like the traditional way you search for a house today, right? I want between 3 and 4 bedrooms. I want 2.5 bathrooms. I want a finished basement, whatever your criteria is, right? But like, and maybe I look at it a little different because I'm from Long Island, so we don't sell houses here by square footage, right? And like you go to the city, you go to a lot of other areas, San Francisco, this and that. Everything's by square footage, right? It's you know exactly how many square feet it is, what you pay per square foot, and that's how deals are negotiated there. Here, it's not like that. People only care about bedrooms, bathrooms, like I said, the basement, whatever their features are. So how to make that process better for millennial, I think, is gearing it just towards more of like a map kind of idea, right? We care more about experiences than things. And if I can have a better commute to work, or if I can have, certain things that are going to make my life better, like on the weekends, is there going to be, is there a town for me to go to? Is there shopping or whatever the things that I'm into, I want to be around more, right? And that's why we see so many millennials like in, like Austin, Texas and Seattle and, all these other places that are much more cost effective to live in. And there's a lot going on, right? And it's a lot of people our age there. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be the game changer for whoever figures it out. But again, I have to think there's a better way. I just don't know what it is.
Okay.
Like, what about for you? If you were searching for a house right now, what would make a difference to you? What would make you use one site versus another, or one app versus another? What would that be?
I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of like you. Like, I'm looking for stupid details.
Right.
Like, frankly, I'm looking for stupid stuff. Like, and in Vermont, there's things that maybe aren't as prevalent or wouldn't be as prevalent in the city or things like that. But like, I want to know there's good internet signal in the location I'm living.
You should probably rethink where you're living right now. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let's back up there. My internet. Let me just PS. All right. I'm going to defend this a little bit. Well, my connection has been a little terrible lately because of the broken computer, which, by the way, everybody is out of the shop, getting fixed. It'll be back by Monday. It's at Wires Computing in Burlington, here in Vermont. It's going to be back Monday. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Where I am in Burlington, is one of 33 communities in the country with fiber internet.
Interesting.
33, right?
So you should be getting much better internet speeds than you get.
Right. The reason is this computer is a 2G card. It's the old Wi-Fi card. It's not 5G. That's why when I send you a speed test from my phone and it's like 150 meg up, 180 meg down.
Right.
Right. And you're like, what? This old computer is on an old 2G card.
Right.
So my point there, though, is, Wi-Fi signal, internet signal, walking distance from certain areas. That's another one. Being able to walk into town and, what shops are close or what things are close or those sorts of things.
Yeah, I think that brings it back to like the things we care about, right? It's not, you don't care about the size of the home and that kind of stuff. I mean, for me, like, I'm surprised you can't search for a smart home on any of these things, right? Like, why can't I say, okay, I want something that's a connected home, right? And I don't care what it is, but, tell me, are these sprinklers a connected system? Are the lights connected systems? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that that's not there yet, right? We're into this smart world. Like, every single light switch and bulb in my house is a smart bulb. I can talk to Alexa, stop. I can talk to it and she'll do whatever, dim the lights, turn them on, turn them off. And they even have like the locks for the doors and all those things. So like, it surprises me that you can't even search for those things, because as a buyer, as a millennial buyer, right? Like, that's going to matter to me. Like, if I don't have to first go in and do all those things, I'd probably be willing to pay more, right?
Anthony, need I remind you that there are still MLSs that don't allow for half baths?
That is so true.
I don't know what
actually
to say.
saw? And this kind of brings us back to the other day about about RISO. I think Marilyn Wilson posted. So if you don't know Marilyn Wilson, she's one of the partners at RE Technology, and she posted an article I could not believe. So the title of it was, "Anybody know why these MLSs are still not RISO compliant and data dictionary certified, even though NAR required it 18 months ago?" There's over
Not 18 months ago. Over what? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So there's over 50 MLSs on this list. 50. And some of them
they have no data dictionary and are non-RISO compliant. I know. And some of them are big.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm looking through them. I'm like, that's a pretty big board. Like I am like thoroughly surprised. Like some of these I've never heard of, so I would assume they're just much smaller MLSs, which they might just not have the funding to do it. Which, okay, but still get it done.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, some of these I was completely in awe. So sorry to go off on that tangent there.
No, look, it's to the same point. It's the technology moves slow.
Right.
Change is slow. It just sort of is, and I think. I would love to be able to search for smart homes, but let's be honest, we're on the front side of the adoption curve for smart home tech in general.
True.
Like we need to hit critical mass on the population adopting it before a lot of the MLS industry will even realize
we're adding a field.
Right. Now, that being said, and shout outs to our friends over at CRT Labs,
yep.
The Center for Realtor Technology at NAR, headed up by a good friend Chad Curry. Also there is Dave Conroy, Stephen Cote, and Joe Sullivan. God, take me a second.
Were you at the? I saw Dave just spoke on. I think it was on Smart Homes. I'm not exactly sure it was, but I saw a post about it. I know he just did some sort of speaking engagement.
He talks on homes all the time in a lot of different places. He was just down in Austin, I believe, talking there at RISO about connected homes and smart homes and so on.
Gotcha.
And then he also did it at the NAR Tech Eds that I was just at.
Oh, nice.
He and Chad Curry and Stephen, the whole team there, do a lot of the talks and presentations on it. But they're really kind of leading the way, leading the charge on smart home tech, the security of it, whether, how it can be incorporated, how it's going to start getting incorporated into MLS data, what it takes to transfer smart home devices from one person to another.
Right.
And that's a whole nother head.
That's interesting. I never even thought about that.
Right.
That's interesting.
Register online all those lights and switches and gardening stuff and so on to you, and then you sell the home, and then what if you disappear and there's nobody to transfer those devices to? What happens?
Interesting.
I was actually talking to Dave Conroy, and apparently there's already been a case where a smart connect stove, someone would keep logging in and messing with the people who bought the house.
Oh my God. It's weirdly great, but I would be so pissed. Oh my God. Yeah, I never even thought about the transferring of it. That's interesting.
Yep. Oh, security stuff.
Long way to go.
Yeah. That being said, I kind of want to go back to our whole topic on marketing to millennials, because I know you and I do a lot of thinking about that in terms of targeting our products and marketing and stuff like that. And I know that you and I have spent a good bit of time, like both of us, going through and doing the research on what it means to market to different generations. And I'll give people an example of that. For example, one of the things that really sells is younger generations expect busier images, more imagery in general, more colors, those sorts of things. Older generations, when they react to imagery, tend to react to a little more monotone stuff, or at least single color kind of stuff. Simple images, straightforward images, one predominant character in the image, those sorts of things. I know, and we've had some luck in different strategies we've tried. What are some just sort of things for you that are stuff you do now consistently just from sort of learning it and working with it?
So one thing that I'm a huge, proponent, and you know this, is text messaging, right? So my inbox is filled to no end, thousands of messages. I physically can't get through them all, right? And I tell people all the time, I'm like, here's my cell phone number. Even if you call me, chances are I'm not answering. But if you text me, I'll get right back to you, right? And I think that, our generation especially.
Oh, is that help?
Yeah. Our generation especially, it has been terrible with picking up the phone, being on emails all the time. And obviously it's stuff we have to do for business, right? We do those things, but my preferred method of communication is text me always. And what I'm seeing more and more of is Facebook chat, right? Like I'm getting chats from people that I might have their phone number, my phone, this and that, but I'm finding myself having full on conversations on Facebook Messenger. Full on. I mean, when we started doing ASOS strategy, I mean, we don't use anything except Facebook chat to talk
Pretty
about
much.
it. And it's kind of amazing to think that we've never had a text thread. We got a couple phone calls, but everything we've done for the most part has been through Messenger. And that's kind of a wild thing to think that our business was built on Facebook Messenger, even though it's not a Facebook Messenger product. That's how we communicated everything back and forth.
True.
So I'm seeing, a lot of stuff with Facebook Messenger. The bots are really, really cool today. I use them as customer support for any open house and that kind of stuff. But there are some really, really cool bots out there. I think we're still in the very infant stages of that type of marketing, but that's where I see the millennial marketing going. That's where I want to communicate, and it's not for anything. It's not that I don't want to talk to somebody or talk to an individual person. It's when I want the information, I want it right now. And if somehow I can automate that and get it quicker, I want to.
True. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Do you think realestate.com hits that mark of I want info, I want it now?
Not at all.
I
think it's not that I think it is. It's just another search portal, right? They just
portal.
Yeah, they just said, oh, we want to market this to millennials. And they used some cutesy language that they thought was going to resonate with us. And not that it doesn't resonate with us, but I'm not going to, if I was in the market to buy a home today and I was a millennial, I'm not going to stop using every other search portal just because realestate.com. So what was the tagline they said? It was, what was it? The struggle is real. Like, I got it. Like that's not going to make me change over.
Hold on. You know what? I'm actually going to give you the gold. Here's my gold standard, actually. Just because of my connection, just in case, would you mind sharing a screen for me?
Yeah, you got it.
And you'll probably know who I'm going to talk about. Who would you think, in terms of like a brand and marketing and so on, who would you think is the like kind of gold standard of their website for marketing towards millennials?
For marketing towards millennials, I mean, there's a few that I can stand out. I mean, let me just share this.
Here's what I'll say. Here's one that jumped out at me. MailChimp.
I was just going to say MailChimp is probably very, very high on my list here. Let's see.
They're probably one of the best in terms of marketing towards millennials, messaging towards millennials, all of that sort of stuff. That it's cute, it's fun, it's playful.
The other part that's great about MailChimp is they're real, right? They don't, when I get emails from them and this and that, they're kind of no bullshit emails. They're selling, but they're just nonchalantly doing it, right? They're saying, hey, I remember when they just launched, they launched the Facebook ad part of MailChimp. And I remember them being like, they had like just these like nice little emails that went in, and it was really simple. It was really easy. And I got it. You know what I mean? And again, they're an email company, so obviously they're emailing their marketing. But if they really wanted to get in front of even more people, in my opinion, they take it to the next level.
Actually, hold on. Go run it here. I can send you the link, or go run a quick Google search on the MailChimp end of year or beginning or yearly, end of year report or yearly report or whatever it is.
I remember you showed me this. It was great.
Okay, this is their 2016 annual report that we all got as clients. And as you scroll through, this is what they care about in what they want to tell their clients about for 2016.
Right.
And one fifth grade class opted.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And 170 runners in their 5K. 2 New York Times articles featuring our co-founder, CEO, and it's all fun. Look at this. Cartoons,
it's great.
Graphics. 4 pounds of coffee could buy our support team per day. Right? They just keep going. Like, you keep going through a little bit, and I think you'll see what I mean by, like, how they're having fun with all of this.
Yeah, and they really do. And it's like when I started reading, I remember when you sent me this, and I went through this entire thing, and I read everything they put on here just because of the way they did it. It was like, it was fun. It was easy to read. It was easy to go through. And it was real info, right? Like some of the stuff was funny, but some of it was real. Like there was a couple things on here. I remember like the numbers. I was just like, wowed.
And it's interesting because as they go further, they start to sort of ease you into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
It's a
They're
little
telling
more.
you about. So they start by telling you about who they are as humans.
Right.
We support people. We do this. We drink coffee. We're human beings, right? That's their first sort of messaging with this for their yearly report. And then they get into the whole like, oh, well, cool. We've sent some email campaigns and we've also grown this way and et cetera, et cetera.
180 new hires. It's huge.
Yeah, I was amazed at the number of emails they've actually sent.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. That was kind of the staggering number. It was insane. I'm sure that's the absolute last thing on here. But
in terms of living up to marketing to millennials, and really understanding how to connect with that demographic, I kind of hold them as the gold standard for that.
This is just crazy.
Hold on, back up there a second. 2 million GIFs used. Did you see that?
Yeah. That's what I was like giggling at. Yeah, 2.3 million GIFs used.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Anthony, another thing I think you do that they seem to do well also and similar is try new things. Like I remember the first time you told me about trying emojis in subject lines.
Yep. And they worked so well.
They worked so well.
It's like over 1.3 billion emails sent.
In 2016.
Yeah, just in 2016 at a disgusting number.
That's just Black Friday.
Oh, no. That was just Cyber Monday. That was Black Friday 1.4.
Black Friday.
4 billion clicks. Jesus Christ.
That's almost 5 billion.
250 billion emails sent to my MailChimp. Oh, my God. All right. On that note, I'm going to call this.
It's been a good one.
Only because the Ranger game's on, and I need to watch every second of it, including the national anthem. But yeah, good one today. I'll get this transferred over to the page in a little bit. But yeah, so interesting. So Realtor.com, not Realtor.com, Realestate.com, just another search portal in our opinion.
Yeah. It's a good thing no one will confuse it with Realtor.com.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, it's interesting to see how that's going to play out in the next couple weeks, couple months. I'm almost excited to see the marketing come out of it. I'm excited to see how they try and really market that to millennials. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So,
all right, man. Well, another after hours in the books. I'm sure we'll talk tomorrow at some point. Hopefully you have some time and we can get another one going.
Sounds good to me, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. See ya.
All right. Later.